How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs beat writer for On SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Thank you guys so much for stopping in today. Today, we've got a fun little topic, kind of similar to how it was a response thing. I wanted to get to know your opinion, especially with the regular season nearing. It's right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you guys are excited. I know that I am. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are looking a little bit better from, how they ended last season, and hopefully they go into 2025 with a fresh attitude, fresh start, the whole 9 yards. But today we're going to be talking about two of the biggest games for the Kansas City Chiefs this season, and they come before their bye week. And I want to know, according to you guys, especially for myself, I'm going to present everything out in my opinion on it, but I want to know what you guys think about these two. Which is a bigger matchup this season for the Kansas City Chiefs? Or rather, what game is more must win between week 2 against the Philadelphia Eagles or week 9 against the Buffalo Bills? Now, let's break down them both in a sense of competitivity and relevancy. These games are both super relevant. They're going to be competitive, but the Kansas City Chiefs, they might have an extra fire to them going into the game of week 2 following Los Angeles Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil, heading home to Arrowhead Stadium to play their first home game of the 2025 campaign against the team that stood in front of them and history, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that it is a game that this Chiefs roster, the organization, everybody, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, whether you are on the sidelines or anything, the front office, this is a game that you got circled as soon as the schedule was released. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl rematch. I think that it is a must-win situation for the Kansas City Chiefs. While it will be very difficult to get the job done, granted that the Philadelphia Eagles, they didn't lose a whole lot this season, and they've already got that Super Bowl championship underneath their belt. They're not technically defending it. They've already got it. But for the sake of credibility in this franchise, being able to show, hey, we're still the team to beat in the AFC. Look, you got to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in week 2. It's a big game. Patrick Mahomes is going to be, I think, on his best game in that game. And I know it's going to say, let's say in it early, but the revenge season, sure, the Sao Paulo, Brazil game against the Chargers, that's a great way to start off the year. But the revenge season starts against the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you think about it, if they lose that game, losing 2 straight to the Philadelphia Eagles, both in ways that can be held at high standards, the Super Bowl, and then a home opener against your home fans, if you lose this game, it's going to be it could definitely derail the entirety of the season, could hinder some confidence as well, and just kind of fuel the fire for these analysts and those who doubt the Kansas City Chiefs going into this season, saying, oh, you know what? The dynasty, it's over. It's falling apart. I think that it's going to be a tall task, but with Chiefs Kingdom behind them, I think it's going to be a game that the Kansas City Chiefs can win. I can't say should, but they can win. I think that there's a lot riding on it, and I think that is for sure, while it does happen in the beginning portion of the year, it is a game that has to be viewed as monumental as the rest of the games down the line, especially the stacked roster of competitors that the Chiefs are set to face. Or for the Kansas City Chiefs, come week 9, they face off against their familiar foe, the game that everybody loves to watch, arguably the rivalry in the National Football League going into the 2025 campaign, just because they've put on banger after banger after banger after banger after banger games. The Philadelphia Eagles will not be featured. It'll be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. Now, people had seen the Buffalo Bills, and they know that the regular season, it is Bills all the way. You get to the playoffs, Kansas City Chiefs, they always find a way to beat them. That narrative could very well be simulated once again in 2025, but I do think that it is if the Chiefs are able to walk away with a Week 9 victory and carry that momentum into, I think that the playoffs will feature both the Chiefs and the Bills. Let me just say, while I think that for recency bias, is Chiefs fans are going to want the Bills to beat them in their franchise in the regular season because they know how the outcome has worked out more times than not in the playoffs. But the Kansas City Chiefs, they're not going to go into that Week 9 game in hostile environment and just plan on losing in hopes that they will meet again in the playoffs and try and take them down again. You know, there's only a few guarantees in life, and there isn't a guarantee that the Kansas City Chiefs always beat the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. I think that if they have a chance to kind of derail the Bills season in Week 9 before they go into their bye week come Week 10, I think the Kansas City Chiefs, they've got to take a chance at it. That being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to know your thoughts on this topic. Which do you think is the bigger game, the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 2? Or the why do I keep saying that? The Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs against the Buffalo Bills in Week 9. Let me know. Be sure to follow me over on X at Dom Minchella. I post and repost every single day. And now that we're getting super close to the 2025 campaign, you're not going to want to miss any Kansas City Chief coverage. You can also follow us over at KC Chiefs on SI. Over on X as well. Everything gets posted there, exclusively free for you. And, you know, Kansas City Chiefs on SI is a place to get your best news for the Kansas City Chiefs. As always, I'm Dominic Minchella. Be kind to one another, folks, and I'll see you tomorrow.